A practical application, innovative electrical services. At the close of the previous chapter, Karel set a plan in motion to transform IES into an asset of value. The first step Karel took was to start by building IES into a sales machine. In this chapter, I consider how Karel can implement a recruitment and selection process for IES. I am always perplexed when I find that many entrepreneurs recruit inexperienced people for sales roles. I suspect business owners do so in an effort to limit overheads, but this practice is self-defeating. Cast your mind back to your own experience when you started out as a business owner. Breaking down those first doors to secure the first sales was probably the hardest thing to do. It takes tremendous courage and skill to successfully sell. I recommend that you recruit quality salespeople. The highest earning people in successful businesses are the sales superstars. By implementing a performance-based remuneration model for salespeople, the business can manage sales performance and limit downside risk. Map out core and ancillary processes. Earlier, when Karel reviewed and redesigned the business model for IES, refer Part 1, Step 3C. He considered what resources the business needs. Karel understands that a key resource is people. During this earlier step, Karel mapped out all the key activities of the business made up of core and ancillary processes. Karel then proceeded to plot out all the tasks required to complete each process. This allowed Karel to understand what skills are needed to complete each task and to estimate the duration of each task. Defining roles. Earlier, when reviewing and redesigning the business model for IES, refer Part 1, Step 3C, Karel identified the following roles. An operations manager with the following reports. 1 inventory administrator. 3 installations team leads. 1 maintenance team lead. 6 installation technicians. 2 maintenance technicians. And 1 technology specialist. A finance manager with the following reports. 1 bookkeeper and 2 administrators. And lastly, a sales manager with the following reports. 3 salespersons. Karel should define all roles making up the future staff complement of IES. But presently, his most pressing priority is to recruit 2 salespersons. So he decides to start by defining the role of a salesperson as follows. Title, salesman. Who does the role report to? The salesman will eventually report to the sales manager, but for now, Karel takes on this responsibility. Who reports to the role? No reports. Key deliverables. Achieve sales targets. Key skills. Communication and presentation skills. Time management skills. Computer literacy. A valid driver's license with own vehicle and a technical understanding of renewable energy solutions. Assigning tasks. The next step is to assign tasks to the salesman role, for which Karel reverts back to the standard sales process made up of sales activities or tasks. Set and monitor standards. Lastly, Karel sets sales activity targets as follows. Karel is now ready to design and implement a standard recruitment and selection process consisting of the following steps. Sourcing candidates, thinking about the role description and more specifically the skills required to succeed at promoting renewable energy solutions. Karel decides to start by advertising the role on the Electrical Contractors Association's website, the ECA. The advantage of this strategy is that Karel is already a member of ECA and as a result can access preferential rates for placing the advertisement. Karel also knows that all members of ECA are qualified electricians who are likely to already have some experience and applicable skills. Initial review of applications. Karel quickly drafts a one-page application form to email to applicants responding to the advertisement. Background screening. To save time, Karel assigns the task of reviewing applications to his current office manager, who can easily access the ECA website to confirm if an applicant is a member. In addition, Karel asks his office manager to contact previous employers for references. First round interviews. Karel also asks his office manager to conduct first round interviews with applicants. He assists the office manager by drafting a standard set of questions to ask applicants. Second round interview. Karel then selects what seems to be the best candidates and asks his office manager to schedule second round interviews. Karel prepares a questionnaire with probing questions aimed at assessing the technical skills and characteristics of applicants. Offer of employment. Karel engages with both a labor lawyer and his accountant. Karel wants to implement a performance-based remuneration package consisting of a basic salary and commissions on sales. The labor lawyer assists Karel to draft a contract of employment, whereas the accountant advises Karel on the tax implications for both the business and the salesman. Karel makes offers of employment to 2 candidates. Appointment, probationary period. Karel includes a 3-month probationary period in the contract of employment to ensure that the applicant fits in with the culture of IES and that the applicant meets minimum performance standards. Review after the probationary period. At the conclusion of the 3-month probationary period, Karel reviews the performance of each candidate. Final appointment. Successful candidates are permanently appointed in their roles. Karel keeps his exit strategy in mind. Is it possible to recruit a salesman with potential to be developed into a sales manager? With this in mind, Karel makes sure to present the possibility of future career advancement, including the prospects of securing an ownership stake in the business to prospective employees as a way of attracting and retaining talented individuals. In conclusion, with these appointments, Karel has taken the first steps towards transforming IES into an asset of value. But to remain competitive, IES must invest in the training and development of its own people, which is the topic of the next chapter.